Okay, okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Fuck you, man. Screw you. No, screw you. Ah, shit. No, I just killed my chat. No. Okay. Okay. Content. Cause like a live is happening right now. Go over here. Can I see my live? Actually, you know what? Yeah, I just give up, man. I just straight up give up. I'm just gonna check my chat. Yeah, after a lot of... Okay, guys, I would like to sincerely apologize for all of the technical difficulties. Because, trust me, guys, I tried my hardest to, like, set up a chat. But, I tried my hardest to set up a chat, but things just kept getting in the way and dumb things started happening. So I decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna read the chat in, like, my, phone. I'm gonna look over my phone and read the chat on there. Okay, so we got a bunch of fire emojis from my bestie Stat. Yippee! So yeah, what I wanted to do today was read a bunch of bad creepypastas, and I'm gonna read all of these bad boys in order. Granted, there's, since these creepypastas are extremely cliche in the end, I'm just, it's gonna have cliches of such as death, murder, suicide, so, but I know that's probably what you guys are in for. So, from top to bottom, I'm gonna be reading horrid creepypastas. And, as always, please don't hunt down and harass the people who made these creepypastas, because that's not good, guys. You're not better than those people if you're gonna do that. That's not cool, guys. That's not cool. That's just not cool. Anyways, enough yapping. No more yapping. It's time for, the 2011 version of Jeff the Killer. Yeah, I apologize for the ads. Actually, you know what, let me go turn off my lights to make this more creepy. Alright, the lights are off. I have turned the lights off because I wanted to turn the lights off. So yeah, this is Jeff the Killer. Excerpt from a local newspaper. Ominous unknown. Killer is still at large. After weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story. I had a bad dream and I woke up in the middle of the night, says the boy. I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Okay, minor nitpick, but he should have said I got up and shut it again instead of once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to get back to sleep. Remove that simply. Or have him say, I got under my covers and tried to get back to sleep. That sounds a little bit too formal for an 8-year-old or a young boy. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I looked up and nearly jumped off my bed. There, in the little ray of light, illuminating from between my curtains, were a pair of 2 eyes. These weren't regular eyes, they were dark, ominous eyes. Thank you for clarifying that. They were bordered in darkness, and bordered in black, and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth. A long, horrendous smile. Holy shit. Yes, that's turn the lights off. They were bordered in black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth. A long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there watching me. Finally, after what seemed like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said in a way only a madman could speak. He said, "Go to sleep." I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled out a knife, aiming at my heart. He jumped on top of my bed. I fought him back. I kicked. I punched. I rolled around, trying to knock him off of me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife. It went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police. They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash like a glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out of it to see him vanish into the distance. I can tell you one thing. I will never forget that face. Those cold, evil eyes and that psychotic smile. They will never leave my head. Dude, Jeff the Killer failed to kill a child? That is pathetic. Oh my god. Yeah, spoiler alert, Jeff is gonna kill a lot of people during his backstory. He's called Jeff the Killer for a reason, but still, I find it so funny how he failed to kill a literal fucking child. Police are still on the look for this man. If you see anyone that fits the description of this story, please contact your local police department. Yo, what's happening with Tamagotchi life? Oh, alright. Alright. I'm just gonna... Okay, so, like, the stream is still up. Eyes. What's happening in Tamagotchi life? I'll move all of them except for one. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Holy shit. Okay, do you mind if I share this on stream? Oh god, they did the 6-7. Alright, we're sharing it. Okay, so my friend Stat played, Tamagotchi Life. It has Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream, and, yeah, so, 6 and 7 had a baby. 6 Integer and 7 Integer from the hit series X Finds Out His Value had a baby. They had a boy-bee. And Stat's gonna abuse the shit out of it. As they should. Then they're like crashing out over it, which is extremely fucking valid. Because, oh my god, they did the 6-7. They did the 6-7. Okay, so I just wanted to show that off for a moment because holy fuck, that is so funny. Anyways, back to killing the Jeff. Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. No, my mouse is doing that dumb thing. No, stop it, ah! Jeff and his brother, Lou, couldn't complain, though. A new, better house. What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of their neighbors came by. Hello, she said. I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and introduce my son. She turns around and calls her son over. Billy! These are our new neighbors. Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard. Well, said Jeff. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna make Jeff's mom sound like, Lois Griffin. Well, said Jeff's mom. I'm Margaret, and this is my cousin, and this is my husband, Peter. And my 2 sons, Jeff and Lou. They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said they would love to. When Jeff and his family are done packing, Jeff went up to his mom. Mom! Why would you invite us to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I am not a dumb idiot minor. I get unhappy meals. I only get unhappy meals from Jeff, said his mother, we just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now, we're going to that party, and that's final. Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself, knowing that he couldn't do anything. When his mom said something, it was final. Well, damn. He walked up to his room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there looking at his ceiling when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much a pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as just some random feeling. Did he have a feeling? A feeling that was feely? He heard his mother call him down to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it. The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get breakfast and got ready for school. As he sat there eating his breakfast, he once again got that feeling. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain, but he once again dismissed it. I know this is like build up for when Jeff is going to snap and become the killer, but I think it could have had a bit more build up. I think. You'll see what I mean later on. Gave him a slight tugging pain, but he once again dismissed it. As he and Lou finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus, but then, all of a sudden, some kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches above their laps. They both jumped back in surprise. Hey, what the hell? The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his hands. Oh, damn. The kid seems to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff. He wears an Aerostople shirt and ripped blue jeans. You know what? Fuck, I'm gonna make this 9 guy sound like 9 integer. Okay. Alright. Oh, Stat did something again? Yes? Yes, Daddy Waddy? It's alright to butt in, Stat. What is it? Oh, God. Oh, God. To a little 7. Bro, that is amazing. That is amazing. Oh my god. They gave birth to a little 7. Okay, everyone, say hi to 7 and 6's, or 6 and 7's child. They gave birth to a little 7. I kid you not, they gave birth to they gave birth to a little 7. Funniest shit I have ever seen, bro. Funniest shit I have ever seen. Anyways, I'm gonna give this kid, 9's voice, or something that's similar to 9's voice. I swear to God, 9 Integra from Battle for Dream Island sounds like he's trying to yell all God. He always, I hate stuttering. I love how 9 sounds like he's trying to yell with a naturally soft voice all the time. Like this. This is me doing my best 9 impression, because, like, he always tries to yell with a soft voice. It's like he's constantly cursed to have a soft voice. He's always cursed to just yell like this whenever he's, actually angry. Anyways. Well, it looks like we got some new meat. Suddenly, 2 other kids appeared. One was super skinny, and the other was huge. Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith. Jeff and Lou turned over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you expect a sidekick to have. And he's Troy. They looked over at the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. Dude. That is so fucking insane, bro. Holy shit. I cannot believe they called a kid who's like probably 12 or 11 in this story a tub of lard. That's not what you call fat people, author, especially not fat kids. This kid looked like he hasn't exercised since he was crawling. And I, said the first kid, am Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there is a small price for bus fare, if you catch my drift. Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of the kid's eyes when one of his friends pulled a knife on it. Well, that escalated quickly. That really fucking escalated quickly, bro. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I had hoped you would be more cooperative, but it seems we must do this the hard way. The kid walked up to Lou and took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong, a burning sensation. He stood up, but Lou gestured him to sit down. Jeff didn't give a fuck and walked up to the kid. Listen here, you little punk! Give my bro's wallet back or else! Who refers to their brother as their bro? I'm sorry, that's kind of corny, not gonna lie. That's kind of cringe. Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife. Oh my god, they all have knives. What the fuck? Oh, and what will you do? Just as he finished the sentence, Jeff popped the kids in the nose. Oh, now they're fighting. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it. Randy screamed and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith rushed Jeff, but Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He just punched Troy straight in the stomach and Troy went down. As he fell, he puked all over. Oh my god. As he fell, he puked all over. Lou could do nothing but look in amazement at Jeff. Jeff, I'm you. That was all he said. Oh, I'm sorry for giving Lou that voice. They saw the bus coming and knew he'd be blamed for the whole thing. So they started running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought of that as his brother beating up a few kids. But Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. The urge to just hurt someone. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. He felt that strange feeling go away and stay away for the entire day of school. Even as he walked home due to the whole thing near the bus stop, and how now he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore, he felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was, and he said, in a somewhat ominous voice, "It was a wonderful day." Next morning, he heard a knock on his front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers at the door, his mother looking back at him with an angry look. "Jeff, these officers told me that you attacked 3 kids. It wasn't regular fighting, and that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son!" Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was true. Oh, that's actually kind of good. That's actually kind of good, not gonna lie. Like how Jeff's mother knew what Jeff was accused of was true by his body language. That's actually kind of good. "Mom, they were the ones who pulled the knives on me and Lou." "Son," said one of the cops. "Companion, we found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 having a bruise on his stomach, and we have witnesses proving that you fled the scene. Now what does that tell us?" Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Lou had been attacked, but then there was no proof it was not them who attacked first. They couldn't say that they weren't fleeing, because truth be told they were. So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Lou. "Son, call down your brother." Jeff couldn't do it since it was him who beat up all the kids. "Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Lou tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me." Lou was the one who pulled out his knife. But didn't Lou pull out a knife or something? I don't know. The cop looked at his partner and they both nod. "Well, kid, looks like a year in juvie." Oh no, they're just gonna take him to juvenile detention center without a trial? That's great officer work there, guys. Great officer work. "Wait!" says Lou. They all looked up to see him holding a knife. The officers pulled their guns and locked them on Lou. Oh my god, okay, so a kid shows up holding a knife and the first thing the officers do is just fucking point a gun at him. That is amazing. Oh my god. Fuck it, I'm just gonna give Lou, X's voice. "It was me. I beat up those little punks. I have the marks to prove it." He lifted up his sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises, as if he was in a struggle. "Son, just put the knife down," said the officer. Lou held up the knife and dropped it to the ground. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops. "No, Lou, it was me! I did it!" Jeff had tears running down his face. Poor bro, trying to take the blame for what I did." "Well, take me away!" "You can't make this up! You can't make this up! Oh my god! That sentence! Poor bro, trying to take the blame for what I did. That's so goddamn corny." The police led Lou out to the patrol car. "Lou, tell them it was me! Tell them! I was the one who beat up those kids!" Jeff's mother put her hands on his shoulders. "Jeff, please, you don't have to lie. We know it's Lou. You can stop." "Dude! Bro, did their mom want him gone that bad, bro? The baby doesn't need to be taken care of. It just grows up like that. Oh my god, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. But oh my god, did his mom want Lou gone that badly? If it was established that Lou was the violent one and that Jeff was, but if you wanted to show that Jeff was like violent, maybe there could have been a scene where like him and Lou were like wrestling and then Jeff accidentally broke Lou's arm or something, or just seriously hurt Lou while they were playing. Maybe that would have given a more build up to Jeff like crashing out and killing people, but that's just me, I guess. Jeff watched helplessly as the cop car speeds off with Lou inside. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulled into the driveway, seeing Jeff's face and knowing something was wrong. Son, what is it? Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him as Jeff wept in the driveway. After an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house, seeing that his parents were both shocked, sad, and disappointed. He couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought of Lou, and it was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by with no word from Lou at JDC, no friends to hang out with, nothing but sadness and guilt. That is until Saturday, when Jeff is woken up by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face. "Jeff, it's the day," she said as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room. What's today?" asked Jeff as he stirs awake. "Why, it's Billy's party." He was now fully... No, bro. Okay, that commences my theory that they really fucking wanted Lou gone. Because if that's your reaction, like, not even a day goes by or a week, and your son goes to jail, to juvenile detention center, cause he, like, took the fall for, like, his older brother stabbing a bunch of kids, and you're moving on just like that, bro? And you're moving on just like that. Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after there was a long pause. Yeah, Jeff has a point. Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be the thing that brings up the past days. Now get dressed. Oh, shut up, shut up, Jeff's mom. Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get ready herself. He fought himself to get up. He picked out a random shirt and a pair of jeans and walked downstairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up, his mother in a dress and his father in a suit. He thought, why would they ever wear such fancy clothes to a kid's party? Son, is that all you're going to wear? Said Jeff's mom. Better than wearing too much, he said. His mother pushed down the feeling to yell at him and hid it with a smile. Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression. Oh, wait, no, wrong character. Fuck. No, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression, said his father. Jeff grunted and went back up to his room. I don't have any fancy clothes, Jeff yelled downstairs. Just pick out something, called his mother. He looked around in his closet for what he would call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions and an undershirt. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though. He looked around and found only striped and patterned shirts, none of which go with dress pants. Finally, he found a white hoodie, put it on. Oh, you're wearing that? They both said. His mother looked at her watch. Oh, no time to change. Let's just go, she said as she herded Jeff and his father out the door. They crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house. They knocked on the door, and it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. As they walked inside, all Jeff could see were adults, no kids. The kids are out in the yard. Jeff, how about you go and meet some of them, said Barbara. Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. Ew, a bunch of disgusting minors. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns. He might as well be standing in a Toys R Us. Suddenly, a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and a hat. Hey, wanna play? He said. No, kid, I'm way too old for this stuff. The kid looked at him with that weird puppy dog face. Please, said the kid. Fine, said Jeff. He put on the hat and started to pretend to shoot at the kids. At first, he thought it was totally ridiculous, but then he started to actually have fun. It may not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off of Lou. So he played with the kids for a while, until those goddamn motherfuckers, Randy, Troy, and Keith, fucked everything up for everyone else. Until he heard a noise. A weird rolling noise. Describing the rolling of skateboards as a weird rolling noise is kind of funny. a weird rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with a burning hatred. Hello, Jeff. Oh wait, fuck, the 9 voice. Hello, Jeff, is it? He said. We have some unfinished business. Jeff saw his bruised nose. I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you, and you got my brother sent to JDC. Randy got an angry look in his eyes. Grr! Oh no, I don't go for even. I go for winning. You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today. I don't go for even. I go for winning. As he said that, Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed him by the ears and headbutted him. Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith both pulled guns out. Guns? I'm sorry. 12 to 11-year-olds with guns. What? No one interrupts, or guts will fly, they said. Randy pulled a knife out on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Jeff screamed, "Yeah!" and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabs his foot and twists it, oh god, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him. Need some help? He picks Jeff up by the back of his collar and throws him through the pay-to door. As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts to cough up blood. Come on, Jeff, fight me! He picks Jeff up and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashes the glass over Jeff's head. Fight! He throws Jeff back to the living room. Come on, Jeff, look at me! Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood. I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC, and now you're just gonna sit there and let him run there for a whole year? You should be ashamed. Jeff starts to get up. Oh, finally, you stand and fight. Jeff is now to his feet. Blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that strange feeling, the one in which he hasn't felt for a while. Finally, he's up, says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. All he can do is kill. Oh my god, he finally became Jeff the Killer! He finally became Jeff the Killer, guys! Finally became Jeff the Killer! He grabs Randy and pile drives him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart! The punch causes Randy's heart! Dude. The fact that a 12-year-old punched a 13-year-old punched a 12-year-old so hard in the chest that his heart just stops beating is goddamn insane, dude. That is goddamn insane. As Randy gasps for breath, Jeff hammers down on him. Punch after punch, blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies. Everyone is looking at Jeff now. The parents, the crying kids, even Troy and Keith. Notice how throughout that entire debacle, none of the parents even attempted to, stop them? Granted, Troy and Keith did pull guns out of their pockets and said that nobody interrupts, their guts will fly. But, I mean, at least, I think one of the adults could have, tried to wrestle the gun out of the kids. Maybe one of them could have pulled a, "Stop fighting!" and yell at them to stop. Or maybe one of them could have called 911. But, no, they all just turned into sitting ducks. Although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff, Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow help behind. As they let out their final rounds of bullets, Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs the towel rack and rips it off the wall. Jesus Christ, how strong is this 13-year-old? Troy and Keith race in, knives ready. Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard, and now all that's left is Keith. He is more agile than Troy, though, and ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into the wall. A thing of bleach fell down on top of him from the top shelf. It burnt both of them. Both started A thing of bleach fell down on top of him from the top shelf. A thing of bleach? Okay, no, I'm convinced the author was, hunched over on their desk, angrily typing on their keyboard and going God damn it, what is the name? What do you call it? It's called bleach something, but what kind of bleach? What is a thing of bleach? And then they just gave up and they were like, oh, fuck it, let's just go get some ribs. Called it a thing of bleach and went to go get ribs, and they just never corrected themselves. They never figured out what the thing of bleach was. Was it a bottle of bleach? Was it Clorox? I don't know. That's the biggest mystery of today's stream. What is the thing of Bleach? Jeff wiped his eyes as best as he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's head. As he lay there, bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile. What's so funny? Asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter and switched it on. What's funny, he said, is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol. Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. The bleach bleached his skin. Jeff let out a horrible screech as he caught on fire. Oh, he let out a horrible screech, huh? Was it, hold on. Hopefully an ad doesn't intro. God damn it. I hate everything. Okay, wait, fuck, no, stay. Huh, what kind of screech did Jeff let out? Was it this screech? Was it that screech? He tried to roll out of the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall and fell down the stairs. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire. And just so you guys know, you could have prevented that from happening. You know. Everyone started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, drop to the ground nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and the other parents trying to extinguish the flame. That's when he passed out. When Jeff woke, he had a cast wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body. He tried to stand up, but he realized that there was some tube in his arm. And when he tried to get up, it all fell out, and a nurse rushed him. I don't think you can get out of bed just yet, she said as she put him back in his bed and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea of what his surroundings were. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother. Honey, are you okay? She asked. Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered and he was unable to speak. Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed to trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go. Huh? This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his arm. He'll be out by tomorrow, and then you two will be able to be together again. Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her goodbyes. Okay, so she didn't check up on her son for hours. She was there for like 30 seconds to tell him about what happened to his brother, and she just leaves? What a terrible fucking mom! The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family. Then the day came where his bandages were to be removed. His family were all there to see it, what he would look like. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on the edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage holding the cover on his face was almost removed. Let's hope for the best, said the doctor. He quickly pulls off the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. Lou and Jeff's dad stare awestruck at his face. What? What happened to my face? Jeff said. He rushed out of bed and ran to the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of the distress. His face. It's horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was turned into a pure white color. Oh, yes, because when you get bleach on your skin turns paper pastel white. Got it. And his hair singed from brown to black. He slowly put his hand up to his face. It had a sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back at his family, then back at the mirror. Jeff, said Lou. It's not that bad. Not that bad, said Jeff. It's perfect. His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching. Jeff, are you okay? Okay, I've never felt more happy. Ha 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 ha! Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me. He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it, looking at it in the mirror. Oh boy, I sure do hope the narrator doesn't answer my question as to what caused Jeff to lose his shit like this. What caused it? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind, his sanity, snapped. Now he was left as a crazy killing machine, that is. His parents didn't know. Thank you, narrator. Hey, you're the same guy who called Troy a tub of lard. Literal kid a tub of lard. Doctor, said Jeff's mom, is my son all right, in the head? Oh yes, this behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. If this behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring it back here and we'll give him a psychological test. Yes, because numerous painkillers makes you go batshit insane. Got it. Oh, thank you, doctor. Jeff's mother went over to Jeff. Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go. You should have Remove the Y and add an IE instead. Jeff looks away from the mirror, his face still formed into a crazy smile. Okay, Mommy! His mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes. This is what came in, said the lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of blood and now stitched together. Jesus Christ, they didn't give him any new clothes? They just fixed up the old clothes and gave it to him? Jeff's mother led him to his room and made him put his clothes on. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life. You should have been more specific. I think you were supposed to, say that the parents didn't know this would be their last day of life. But the way you phrased that, it looks like Jeff and his mother's final day of living. Later that night, Jeff's mother woke to a sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded like if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks. Jeff, what are you doing? Asked his mother. Jeff looked over to his mother. I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever. Jeff's mother noticed his eyes ridged and black. Jeff, your eyes! His eyes were seemingly never closing. I couldn't see my face. I got tired and my eyes started to close. I burned out the eyelids so I could forever see myself, my new face. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane. What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful? Yes, son, she said. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your face. She ran into the room and took Jeff's dad and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep. Honey, get the gun. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. Oh my god, dude. Honey, get the gun. They were gonna fucking put him down, dude. They were gonna fucking put him down. She stopped as she saw Jeff in his doorway, holding a knife. Mommy, you lied. That's the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with a knife, gutting both of them. Oh god, don't tell me he ate their organs. His brother Lou woke up, startled by some noise. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. A feeling that feels feely. He looked up before Jeff's hand covered his mouth. Oh shit, it's just like that one meme where Dr. House is covering this kid's mouth. He slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Lou. Lou thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip. Shh, Jeff said. Just go to sleep. Okay, that was 2011, Jeff the Killer. That was Jeff the Killer, 2011, and, honestly, that was really fucking funny. My favorite part was the thing of Bleach, because you can tell the author was trying to figure out what to call it, then they just gave the fuck up. Anyways, it's time for the next lost episode of Creepypasta. It's time for, the next one. It's called Recess, an episode gone horribly wrong. We're already off to a great start with a fucking, with a picture like this. We're already off to a great start. I don't know Guys, please, for the love of God, don't put me in a stuttering competition. I'd be kicked out immediately, because they would say no professionals. I do not know how the tape came into my possession. All I know is that I found it in one of my drawers while I was clearing them out in preparation for moving to a new house. Damn, the author couldn't figure out a reason as to how they got the tape in their possession. They deadass just said, I don't even know. It was a VHS tape with a plain white label. Recess. R1109 new, return to C. What the fuck is C? Was written on it in a thin black permanent marker. Whoever wrote it had very poor penmanship. It was barely legible. Like anyone who had watched Recess as a child, nostalgia overcame me. I placed the tape in my old VCR and pressed play. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about Recess. All I know about Recess is that there was this episode where a kid named TJ had someone who didn't like him for no reason, for some reason, and he learns that not everyone has to like him. That's all I know about Recess. Also, the teacher was kind of a dick, and there was this kid who would constantly tell on her. That's all I know about Recess. It began with a blue screen. It stayed like that for a few minutes and then started flashing red. 30 seconds later, it cut to black. Thinking that the tape was wrecked, I went over to press eject. Before I reached the button, the Recess opening started, albeit with really poor compression quality. Okay, I've never watched Recess, but apparently the intro slapped. So you missed out on something, dude. The video was blurry and the audio was muddy, but I kept watching to see if anything weird would happen. The episode The Rules started and began playing out like the television broadcast version. Since the previous owner apparently took poor care of this tape, the vertical hold became progressively worse as it went on. Another thing that was off was the voice acting. The voices seemed to be randomly fluctuate in quality, even in the middle of the sentence. For example, in one sentence, Gus would sound like himself, and the next he would sound like the voice actor really did not want to be here. Dude, I could imagine, his voice actor talking, and then somebody says, "Hey, can you do that again, but can you sound really tired while doing so?" Okay, I guess. The animation was technically sound, with the exception of some of the facial expressions. In certain scenes, the main characters' faces did not match what the emotions were trying to convey. In these particular scenes, TJ looked angry, Vince looked tired, Spinelli looked anxious, Gretchen looked depressed, Mikey looked high, complete with bloodshot eyes, and Gus looked as if he genuinely hated everyone around him. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull up, who the fuck? This guy? Looking like he hated everyone around here? Dude! Why would you describe this guy as the one who looked like he genuinely hated everyone around him? And this is, Vince. This is, Vince. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just looking up the Recess cast, because I don't know jack shit about this, so I can see what we're talking about. Okay, so that's Gretchen. This is TJ. This is, Miss Finister. The, bad teacher. That's Michael. It's Mikey. Just looking at some Recess characters. Spinelli is her... Why did they describe her as her last name? Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I just had to check out Recess because I don't know jack shit about any of this. But still, with a character that looks like Gus, that's so fucking funny how they chose to make him look like the one that hated everyone. And the fat kid, Mikey, looking high with bloodshot eyes, that's funny. Alright, anyways, no more yapping. A couple of minutes in, the episode completely jumped the tracks and went insane. At the scene where Vince was ordered to go to the dumpster and find a piece of fruit, it was taking him longer to find it than it should have. Then the sound of a garbage truck pulling up could be heard. Guys, Gus said. Everyone turned and saw the garbage truck. Everyone except TJ ran. TJ tried to help Vince get out, but eventually failed and ran away. Oh, damn. The garbage truck picked up from the dumpster and emptied its contents, including Vince, and began to crush them. Vince's screams in the scene sounded incredibly genuine, like the person doing his voice was actually being crushed to death. That's what we call good voice acting. Also, again, I find it so funny how, someone apparently, told Vince's voice actor, "Hey, buddy, can you, for no particular reason, can you do a scene where, you're screaming in Vince's voice as you're being crushed to death? No reason, just no reason at all." And he's like, okay, I guess. This whole time, everyone was looking in shock. When the screaming ceased, Randall began crying for a moment, then ran off yelling, "Miss Finster!" as like he always did. Randall, now is not the time to start tattling. Yeah, apparently I've heard that Randall's a really good character. And dude, the fact that he ran off to tattle after Vince got fucking crushed to death, that is so funny. Everyone else started crying. The screen faded to black. 30 seconds later, the scene abruptly cut to TJ walking home with his hands over his eyes. There was no sound at all for this part. The animation had really dropped in quality, like it was done by someone in their basement, as opposed to a professional animation studio. It focused on TJ walking down a long road for a couple of minutes, with the vertical hold getting worse the whole time. I will never understand why creepypasta authors just have this amount of patience where they can just watch something extremely boring happen, like TJ just walking down a very long road for minutes without getting bored or just turning it off. Granted, we need a story. We need to figure out what the whole thing is about, but still, if I was them, I would personally just turn it off, dude. After a while, it cut to TJ lying in bed, crying quietly. It was quite genuine, too. I could really hear the pain in his voice. Again, that's good voice acting. Rather than cutting to black after this scene ended, it showed the remaining 5 students walking to school in the rain. None of them cared about the rain. Oh god, now that's terrifying, guys. They don't care about the rain. That's the most terrifying part. It's not the fact that Vince got crushed to death. It was, the rain. They don't care about the rain. That's the scariest part. They don't care about the rain. In addition to some cuts and bruises, Mikey looked even more bloated than usual. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to feel about that, but at least the author didn't call Mikey a tub of lard. Gretchen's glasses were shattered. Spinelli's hair was dirty and all over the place. Gus was wearing a black sweatshirt as opposed to his usual getup, and TJ's hat was on with the bill facing forwards. They were all incredibly depressed. Damn, I didn't know a sign of depression was wearing your hat facing forwards. So yeah, when I was learning about common symptoms of depression, a hat with a bill facing forwards was one of them. The vertical hold was so bad at this point that I could barely tell what was going on. It looked like the remaining children were just sitting in class, occasionally cutting to an empty desk. Finally, the vertical hold finally calmed down to the point where I could see. The depressing, mundane atmosphere went on until Gus pulled out a pen. He rammed it through his eye. Okay, well there was no build-up there! TJ tried to stop him, but Gus ended up bleeding out until he fell over dead. Blood continuously dripped down his desk and pulled onto the floor. Nobody else seemed to care. Oh man, I'm kind of disappointed it didn't go down like this route where Gus was just trying to kill someone. Again, it would be incredibly goofy since hold on, let me pull up Gus again. It would be incredibly goofy if this motherfucker started killing people because, you know, this does not look like a character who would genuinely hate everyone and want to attempt to kill someone, but I'm just saying that's what it sounded like when you were, like, setting it up with Gus just trying to kill people. Like how he hated everyone. That's just how it sounded. Anyways, everyone went to lunch after that class. Mikey gorged himself on whatever he could find until eventually he grabbed his chest and rolled around on the floor screaming. Ultimately, his eyes rolled back in his head, he twitched once and then stopped moving. Oh my god, Mikey just had a fucking heart attack! They gave Mikey a fucking, I kid you not, they killed off the fat kid by making him have a heart attack. Funniest shit I've ever seen. TJ barely tried to help this time. Nevertheless, he still became more depressed after Mikey died. The scene cut to the playground again. TJ and Spinelli were kicking a can back and forth, both expressing minimal interest in what they were doing. They looked as if they were on the verge of killing themselves. Dude, I swear to God, if this stream gets taken down because of fucking recess, I'm gonna get mad. Gretchen silently walked past them and began climbing up old Rusty. I think that's what they call a playground thing? Am I right? Ignore the oh! Okay, so she climbed up like this centerpiece of the playground. Huh. Okay. When she was at the top, she got ready to jump off. Oh god! Oh god! Now she's gonna kill herself. She's gonna attempt to kill herself. What was especially strange was that instead of looking depressed, the kids at the playground, with the exception of TJ and Spinelli, were shouting angrily at Gretchen. Most of them were chanting, "Do it! Jump!" or something similar. Randall called Miss Finister, and even she came over and joined in on the jam. The idea of an entire classroom not only encouraging a kid to kill themselves by jumping off a centerpiece of a playground, but even the fucking teacher joining in is absolutely insane. What was especially strange was that instead of looking... Oh, no, I already read that. "We gotta stop her!" yelled TJ as he and Spinelli ran over and climbed to the top. TJ tried to get Spinelli to help pull Gretchen to safety, inside of the platform at the top of Old Rusty. Instead, however, Spinelli simply glanced at him with a pained facial expression. She then stood up next to Gretchen, pulled a rope out of her pocket, and tied their ankles together. TJ begged and pleaded to them. "Don't do it! Come back inside!" Gretchen and Spinelli looked at each other, closed their eyes, and jumped off. Oh damn, they both killed themselves! They splattered into bloody bits where they hit the asphalt. TJ leaned onto a bar and began loudly sobbing. The crowd below was becoming angrier still. Despite being covered in the blood of Gretchen and Spinelli, the crowd began screaming, "Jump, fucker! Do it! Come on, you little bitch!" In other phrases to that effect, TJ just curled up and covered his face. When the bell rang, everyone but TJ went inside. Okay, so they're just going to completely ignore the fact that, a couple of kids just killed themselves? Are they just going to fucking, are they just going to completely ignore that, bro? They're just gonna completely ignore, okay, so they're just going to, fucking forget about the fact that not only did they successfully encourage two kids to kill themselves, but they were also just yelling at this kid to kill himself. But the moment the bell rang, they were like, "Ah, shit. All right, guys, we gotta go back in class. We gotta go back." That's so funny. The screen was black for several minutes. After a few moments of fast-forwarding to see if there was anything else, the scene faded into TJ sitting on the edge of his bed, crying. There was an ambient sound of what I recognized as a tornado off in the distance, although outside the window, everything appeared normal. Throughout the scene, the tornado sound got louder, and TJ's crying got more pained. Eventually, the tornado sound stopped. TJ lifted up a handgun from under his pillow, aimed it at his temple, and closed his eyes. After one more tear slipped out, he pulled the trigger. Photorealistic blood and brains splattered all over the bed and wall behind him. Of course! It's not a creepypasta without the photorealistic blood. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that whole scene was like a reference to Squidward's unfortunate uh-oh. Oh god, I'm a coward! Squidward's suicide or Red Mist. Pretty sure there was a call out to that. God, it's always the tornado though. The scary tornado that makes me want to end myself. The scene held on to TJ's corpse for a few more seconds until the tape abruptly cut to black. I heard what sounded like a telephone dialing, then the tape stopped completely. I sold that damn thing on eBay. I never wanted to see it again. Maybe the guy who bought it will upload it to YouTube or something, but I did not even want to watch it a second time to capture the footage. One time was all I needed to get every detail. I do not know if the Recess production crew made this as some sort of sick joke, or if it was just made by some guy with too much time on his hands, but I do not give a damn anymore. I just do not want to see it again. I will never be able to watch Recess the same way again. Oh man, I can't believe you would let, a shitty lost episode ruin your love for Recess. I don't know jack shit about Recess, but fucking, but come on, man. Don't let a stupid lost episode with a lot of cliches ruin your love for something. Don't let that happen to you, man. Don't let that happen. But yeah, that lost episode was so fucking funny. An episode gone horribly wrong was so fucking funny. Anyways. Excuse me? Wait, what? What do you mean it has something that'll, like, damage my PC, bro? What? It's Sonic.exe. What do you mean it's gonna hurt my PC? That's bullshit. Bull friggin' horse shit, if you will. Anyways, the best part about Sonic.exe on a meta scale was how badly JC the Hyena, who is a pedophile, crashed out when, the story got taken down. It was moved to Trollpasta Wiki. I just love how badly he crashed out. He accused the people of getting it taken down as arrogant furry haters. He also called them a slur that I can reclaim, but for the sake of this stream, I'm not going to say it. Or, I'm not going to say it at all on YouTube, because, come on, man. I'm not going to do that. But anyways, this is, Sonic.exe. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. Yeah, everyone's a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, just, ignore the part of the fan base that likes to complain about everything and scream and throw feces at each other over the smallest misconceptions. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I played Sonic Unleashed in the past too. I couldn't get past this one platform, and I said, fuck it, let's just go get some ribs. I liked how you get to explore the towns in it, until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle, let's just call him that, whom I haven't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his handwriting, though what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. If you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you, too. He's too fast for me. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you, too. It's too late for me. Godforsaken? Forsaken? Okay, no. Destroy the disc and you'll destroy him. But do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please, Kyle. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Kyle is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me. God damn it, Tom. I didn't think it was that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that. God damn it, Tom. He told you to destroy the game, and you didn't destroy the game. God damn it, Tom. You know what? I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be back. I'm gonna go get some water. Alright, I am back with my thing of water. Now it's time to continue Sonic.exe. Fuck, I have like an ulcer in my mouth. On my lip. It sucks. Anyway, I looked at the disc and it looks like an ordinary computer CDR disc. Except it had black marker on it written Sonic.exe, and it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from someone else, like a pawn shop or eBay. When I saw Sonic on the writing on the CD, I was actually excited and wanted to play it, since I'm a big Sonic fan. Of course! Much like everyone else. I went up to my room and turned on my computer and put the disc in and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome! Because like I said earlier, I like the classics. The first thing I noticed that was out of place when I pressed start, there was a split second where I saw the title image turned into something much different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. Wait a minute, if it showed up for a split second... Well, it must have showed up sooner. It must have showed up and stayed on there for a while. Because, you have a pretty detailed description of what the split-second scene was here. I remember what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened, the title emblem was rusted and ruined, the Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666, and the water had turned red, like blood, except it looked hyper-realistic. But the freakiest thing was that in that split-second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding, with 2 glowing red dots staring right at me, and his smile had stretched wider up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though. I figured it was just a glitch and forgot about it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, for a split second, Sonic looked all creepy and shit, but I assumed it was just a glitch and I kept playing. That doesn't technically count as a glitch, dude. If it appeared for a split second, then it wouldn't really count as a glitch. It must have been preloaded or something. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so. Then another weird thing happened. The save file selected from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, WTF? What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was the dark, cloudy sky from the Bad Stardust Speedway level of Sonic CD, and there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Caverns of Winter music from Earthbound, only it was extended and seemed to be in reverse. Oh my god, dude. Just being so specific about the soundtracks and stuff for no reason. And the image for the save file where you see a preview of the level you're on is just red static for all 3 files. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now I was sure that something was up. I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game, for crying out loud? Okay, so please get used to the characters being more surprised over mundane things instead of things that you should be worried and shocked about. Cause there was a split-second frame of Sonic being evil and shit, but you're more concerned about Robotnik being a playable character? You coward. Robotnik is a good character, dude. No, he's the villain, but still. That's when I realized this wasn't a glitchy game, it was a hacked game. Oh boy. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared, or at least I tried not to be. I told myself it was just a hacked game. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked file 1 and chose Tails, and when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds, and I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot like that Kefka guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more. Then it showed the typical level title thing, except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red, and the text showed only Hill, Act 1. Hill, Act 1. Water. My thing of water. My thing of water. The screen faded in, and the level title started revealing Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, I started playing and had Tails start running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. What was odd was that as Tails was running along the level, there was nothing but a flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into slow, deep tones very slowly as I kept going. I suddenly saw something and I stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground bleeding. That's when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before, so I had to move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers and he moves past more dead animals. I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like somebody killed them in rather gruesome ways. A tail was hanged on a tree with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out, a bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and a duck had his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals, and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails to continue. That phrase makes no sense. After a minute passed after the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill, and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen with his back against Tails with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious to Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make a move, so this had to be a cutscene. No shit, Sherlock. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feel of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. I heard a faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That forbidding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder, but unfortunately Tails wouldn't listen to me because he's a video game character. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like that title image, though there wasn't a smile. Thought there wasn't a smile. Brrr, your grammar sucks. When that happened, the screen suddenly turned black, and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level, with the level title now saying Hide and Seek. This time I was in the Angel Islands level from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the 4th wall, telling me to get him out of here. Oh my god! That shouldn't be surprising considering you literally saw dead animal corpses. Granted, you were shocked over them, but you shouldn't be you shouldn't be as shocked as Tails breaking the fourth wall when you literally saw dead animal corpses a moment ago. So I pressed down on the arrow key as hard as I could and made him run as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from Sonic Adventure 2 was playing as I made Tails trek through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from wherever he was trying to run from. Suddenly I heard that creepy laugh again. That awful Kefka laugh. Right after 10 seconds have passed, he helped Tails run through the forest as I helped Tails run through the forest. Then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere on the screen, again with those black and red eyes. The music changed to that suspenseful drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining up on him, flying. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying! The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except it was just Sonic and he had the black and red eyes again, only this time he had the most deranged looking grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little fox as he gained up on him. Okay, so you don't all caps your words when it came to fucking, you didn't all caps your words when it came to, like, the dead animals. No all caps for the dead animals, but all caps for Sonic flying? Okay, dude. Get your priorities straight, Tom. Suddenly, when Tails tripped another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself. Okay, now that's kind of relatable. But then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic's as a grin slowly grew from his face as he looked down at the horrified fox. I could do nothing but watch. Or you could just turn off the game. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. Oh my god, I am so sorry for that forced screech. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was even that? The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow. Want to try again?" That god-awful laugh came with it. Woo, 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 woo. I was so shocked by what had happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? Why did Sonic do that to him? And I don't know why Sonic murdered those animals either, but you sound more shocked and... Okay, Tom sounds more upset over fucking Tails getting murdered by Sonic than his friend, Kyle. He didn't even contact him for like the 2 weeks he was gone for. He disobeyed Kyle's wishes, and now he's upset because Sonic is killing his friends. Okay, Tom. Honestly, if I was Kyle and I heard that my friend was just crying over the fucking video game characters in the game I told them to destroy, I would personally just fucking scream at them. But, yeah. I shook the shock off as I was brought back to the character select. The save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box itself, but the TV screen itself, which was flickering with that red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding, his orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles next. The laugh came again, and the screen cut to black, and I stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time the level said, "You can't run." I was getting really freaked out by now. I couldn't really tell if this was a glitch, or a hack, or some kind of sick, twisted joke, or anything really, but despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. Dude, you literally said this was a hacked game a few moments ago. The next level looked much different. It had the ground of the Scrap Brain Zone, but the sky background looked like the main menu. It had the dark reddish cloudy sky, but it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like Guy Guess's theme right after you beat Pokey in Earthbound. Please stop being, Something tells me he most likely made this creepypasta because they wanted a game adaptation of it so badly, but they didn't know how to make a game. So they were just, like, listing everything off with specific soundtracks. I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid, just like Tails did, though not as much. More rather, he looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall just like Tails. It looked as if he wasn't sure about going on, but I made him move anyway. He ran down the straight pathway in this dark level, and as he did, the screen started to flicker red static a couple of times, and that maddening laugh came again. Then, after a few seconds of running, I noticed several blood stains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking something horrible is going to happen to Knuckles. He looked nauseated walking down this blood-stained road, but I still kept him going. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes, and then red static appeared again. When the static vanished, showing nothing but black screen with with text reading, saying, "Found you." I was now scared. Sonic found Knuckles already? What was going on? No fucking shit. Sonic would have already found Knuckles. He's fast, dude. He's fast. Anyways, red static came again and I was back to the level. Knuckles looked like he was panicking and Sonic was nowhere to be found. And this time, that high-pitched squealing from the Silent Hill 1's final boss was playing. Was this some kind of boss battle of Sonic? I hope to God it wasn't, honestly. What do you mean you hope to God it wasn't? Boss fights are awesome! Suddenly, Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles in what appeared to be pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles turn and then punch Sonic, but Sonic vanished in black pixelated smoke before I could even land a hit. That terrible laugh went off again. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again, and I made him punch again, and Sonic vanished again laughing. Knuckles was panicking even more, and I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles. Another cutscene played as Knuckles fell to his knees and clutched his head sobbing. I felt his agony. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. Dude, stop acting like Nux Taku for Christ's sake. Me and Knuckles got tormented by Sonic.exe. Then it shows him with like his avatar pointing angrily at something with the text, "What the fuck?" on the thumbnail. And then in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails and the screen went black with another distorted screeching noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds. Ow! Another text message appeared. So many souls to play with. So little time. Would you agree? What the hell? Just what is going on? I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game, but I was too scared to think that. Huh? I was brought back to the main menu, and this time the second file box had Knuckles in the TV screen. His red fur had darkened to a reddish gray, his dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding too, and he had a look of sadness on his face. I began to think that those were the actual characters trapped in those TV screens on the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. So I shut off the game and took a break. Oh, thank God you finally turned the game off. He finally turned the game off. Now all he has to do is just destroy it. Don't take a break, just destroy it. I took a nap. I wish I hadn't, because I then began to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness, so I was under the light given off by a lamp that hung high above my head. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us," and "Why did you give us to him?" and "Run away before he gets you too." The cries dried out as I then heard Sonic laugh. It sounded a lot like the distorted Kefka laugh. Of course it did. You don't have to keep specifying it's the Kefka laugh. We get it, dude. We get it. You're a lot of fun to play with, kid. Just like your friend Kyle, though he didn't last long. I was scared and looking around for the source of the voice. Won't be long now until you join him and all my other friends. I saw him walking towards me, flickering in and out in several directions. You can't run, kid. You're in my world now, just like the others. When he grabbed me and I saw his bleeding black and red-eyed grinning face, I woke up with a fright. After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing the game. I don't know why, but I had to know. I had to figure out why this was happening. Oh my God, Tom, you fucking idiot. So I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and selected Robotnik next. I still thought that was wacky, playing as Robotnik, but anyway, the level title appeared again, and this time it said, ... which I found really freaky. Yeah, I know Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles just got murdered, but playing as Robotnik is really fucking weird, dude. Playing as Robotnik is really fucking weird. This time I was in some kind of hallway. Didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games, though it was the pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered. The walls were a dark grayish purple with animated candle lights and a few dark blood stains here and there, and there was a dark red curtain hanging above the top part of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, the red curtain sways very slowly, but whenever you're playing the game, you can barely see it move. The music was oddly pleasant, a piano playing a rather sad yet peaceful song. But I knew better. This was the song that played in Hill Act 1, only it wasn't in reverse. And how do you know that, Tom? How do you know that? Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face as if he was just a bit paranoid. He did a little animation when I just let him standing. He turns his head to the left and then to the right at least twice and then shrugs at me as if he has no idea where he was or what was going on. Even though I was scared out of my mind about what was going to happen, I had Robotnik continue onward. He did his usual running animation, when you're being him at the end of a classic Sonic game and you chase him, as we continued going through the hallway. You didn't have to specify that. Then I stopped at a long flight of stairs heading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward. As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed that the walls had gotten darker and more reddish. The red torches are now an eerie blue. Then we landed onto another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or at least it felt like it. And then we headed down to another flight of stairs. This one was much longer, took at least 1 full minute. Then I heard that horrid Kefka laugh again, and then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red and the torches were a black flame now. When Robotnik landed onto the third hallway, I noticed he now looked and really creeped out. Though he tried to hide it, I couldn't blame him. I was scared too. Suddenly, Sonic popped right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did Knuckles, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds, and then it showed me the most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic standing in the darkness where you can only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. And when I say hyper-realistic, I mean like he looked so real you could actually see the lines of his blue fur, as if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. His face, oh god, he had the most horrifying smile I had ever seen. That's saying something considering I saw the image at the start of the game. You saw the realistic picture at the start of the game? His eyes are wide and black and once again crying blood, which also looked hyper-realistic, and there were 2 small glowing red dots in those black eyes staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the side of his face like a Cheshire cat, except Sonic had fangs, very sharp fangs, much like the werehog's teeth, except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish, and from the looks of it, had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lips and fangs as if he ate some animal. Well, he should go brush his fucking teeth then. I stared at that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off of it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me. That face. It just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good. Then the screen flickered with red static again 3 times, and on the 3rd time, I heard the Kefka laugh, except this time it sounded distorted. Demonic, even. I went back to the image again, except this time there was the text again, though it was messed up. But it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I am God! My thing of water, help! Oh god, I hate having ulcers because it makes consuming and drinking shit hurt. It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic when it hit me. I realized right there, and then. This Sonic was a monster. A pure, evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just his little playthings that he gets joy out of making them suffer. He's the one who causes pain for fun. Okay. Are just his little toys, and the game is the very gateway to his demonic nightmarish world and the very hell his victims are trapped in. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open, to an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a literally spiraling abyss of pure darkness, before the red static came again, this time much louder and distorted. So loud it hurt my ears. I yelled and grabbed my ears as the red static screeched for a good 7 seconds. That's relatable. Then it stopped and showed nothing but a black screen. As I sat there staring at the black screen, one last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom? Sorry. The Kefka laugh, now sounding more clear as if Sonic was right behind me, played again 3 times as I looked at that text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time the third save file had a TV image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull gray, his mustache drooped and had blackened, his glasses broken, blood is coming from them, and he had a mere dead-like expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik and cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they're going through. They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog, and always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did. Sat there for maybe 25 seconds, horrified by what had just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who plays his games in more way than one. Then when he gets bored, he drags you into the game, literally drags you to hell, where he can play with you always as his toy. You can't take that seriously, man. You literally can't. You literally can't take that seriously. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there, but at least I managed to turn it back on now. After I sat there for 25 seconds, I heard a voice right behind me, like a whisper. Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice came from, and what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling of bloodstains on his eyes. The fucking Sonic plushie, dude. You can't make that shit up. They genuinely thought that was a good way to end their troll pasta. No, their creepypasta. A fucking Sonic plushie. That's hilarious. Oh yeah, and this is the author's crash out over the story getting deleted. As you can see, like he called them a slur, which I don't like. Which I don't really like. You shouldn't call those people that slur because your story got, like, taken down. Shouldn't do that. It's not good. Oh, no. This is, yeah, I did say I would read the second Sonic the Hedgehog sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog EXE sequel. But, I think I'm just gonna do one more with this one, because this one is 10 times, is actually better than the other one, because of how goddamn goofy it is. Okay, allow me to introduce myself before I go blabbling away. My name is Crystal. I live with my mom and dad, and I'm a serious Sonic the Hedgehog fan. All my friends are too. We kind of formed a club. A serious Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Anyways, I want to get this out of the way before something happens. I just got back from a friend's funeral. His name was Tom. I was pretty sad when he died, but a little confused too. The police reported that he committed suicide. Oh, that's horrible. I gotta say, I was weirded out. First Kyle disappears and now Tom goes and kills himself. Found that really odd, so I went to Tom's house to talk about it with his dad, who was clearly shaken up by the whole ordeal at first, but calmed himself down afterwards and told me he was giving away his son's things to help take his mind off of him. So I looked through Tom's stuff and found something that really caught my eye. A CD case for computers. On the CDR disc was black marker writing spelling Sonic.exe. Now, as a big Sonic fan, I was pretty curious about it, so I asked Tom's dad if I could have it. He said yes, but not before looking unsure when I showed him it. So I went and took it home. I looked at the disc for a while. It certainly looked like an ordinary CD game disc. Kinda got me wondering if it was a game that Tom made. I laughed at that idea because sure, he likes video games as much as I do, but I wouldn't say he was good at making his own. Okay, dude, your friend offs himself and then you, like, insult his video game making skills? Crystal! That's not how you treat a dead friend! So I went and popped the game into my computer, installed it and stuff, and then started it. And then, much to my surprise and pleasure, the opening title sequence of the first Sonic the Hedgehog game appeared on my screen. I was like, ah, yeah, I love this game! And pressed start right away. I thought I saw the title screen change before it went to black, but I didn't have enough time to notice it, though it looked like Sonic smiling with black and red dotted eyes and crying blood. Boy, do I hate that image to this day. Anyway, when the main menu popped up, I was a little weirded out, and here's why. It didn't look like any other Sonic main menu I've seen. It looked like the file select for Sonic 3, except there were only 5 save files. The background looked like the sky from the Twilight Realm of Zelda, only in a very good 16-bit pixelated form. The music that was playing sounded ominous for some reason. It sounded like the final day from Majora's Mask. Each file also had a Sonic character in it, some of which I really expected to play as. The order was the following: Silver, Blaze, Sally, Mighty, and Amy. My goat Mighty would never get taken by Sonic at EXE. I was certain that this was a hacked game, but I shrugged it off and continued playing. Of course you did! Ah, fuck. I don't know what that was. I think I just inhaled my own spit. Ugh. I tried to pick Sally because she's my favorite character, but the game wouldn't let me for some reason. I tried picking Blaze, Mighty, and Amy next, and that also didn't work. It was then I realized I had to play all the characters in order, starting with Silver, so I went ahead and selected them. When the screen faded to black again, I heard Kefka's laugh. Except it sounded a little distorted. The screen remained black for about 7 to 10 seconds. Anyways, the black screen then changed to red static in a split second. Then it showed the level title screen, which oddly read Trapped. Okay, at this point, I was rather weirded out, but I did my best to shake the feeling off. The level I was in looked a lot like Green Hill Zone, except the environment looked dark, decrepit, haunting even. The music that was playing sounded like the haunted house theme from Super Mario World, except it was in reverse and a little slow. What really creeped me out was Silver. The idle animation he was making, looking as if he was trying to hide his fear. I felt concerned for Silver, but I had him running and I started the level. I had Silver running for like 30 seconds in the level. There were no enemies, no obstacles. I was a little confused, if not all the more bored of the game. But then what I think was a cutscene began when Silver stopped running, and I saw why. On the other side of the screen, a few feet away from him, was Sonic, who had black eyes with small red dots in them, staring at Silver, who was clearly frightened at the sight of the blue hedgehog for some reason. The music was no longer playing, and everything was now quiet. Then red static flickered, and then it showed black screen, this time with a message. "I'm so glad that I'm playing with you." I was a little creeped out at that, and then red static brought back the game, and this time Sonic is smiling at Silver, who's so scared tears are running down his face, while blood was running down Sonic's. Damn, Silver is a little bitch! Red static again, and this time the message was, "How about I give you a head start?" At this point I was starting to freak out a bit. Did Sonic say that? So what did he mean by a head start? He's gonna give you a chance to run for your fucking life, Crystal? He's gonna give you a chance to make, Silver run for his fucking life? Duh! Anyway, the red static brought the game. Sonic did an odd little animation that looked like he was stepping aside and let Silver continue on with the level, still smiling. Silver, to my shock, broke the fourth wall by looking at me and acting like he doesn't want to continue on with the level. I was like, what the? At this point, I was creeped out, but I tried to shake it off and had Silver go past Sonic and continue onward. After a minute or so, I heard that distorted Kefka laugh again, and then the music started playing some freaky high-pitched tones. And then I saw Sonic actually flying after Silver. I started to freak out and did not leave the button on the keyboard after that had Silver running still. Let me guess, you were surprised because Sonic was flying. Sonic was ganging up on Silver, and I was panicking, and he also had the most deranged smile on his face as if he was intent on killing Silver. When he finally caught Silver, the screen went black, and there was this loud screeching noise that lasted a good 4 seconds. My jaw just dropped as another message popped up. Didn't really have anything against Silver, except for how dumb he is. Want to try again? Then that Kefka laugh. Couldn't believe what just happened. I had thoughts about Sonic killing Silver, but I didn't really believe those thoughts. I couldn't! Why are they so concerned over video game characters killing each other? Yeah, it looked bad. I didn't think the game was a hacked game anymore. It looked too messed up for anyone to make. I knew something was up, something sinister. So anyway, I got booted back to the main menu. Silver was no longer in his save file, and when I looked at the TV screen on the file, I saw why. Silver was in the screen flickering in the red static, and he was in a real sorry state. His fur darkened, his eyes were black and bleeding, his face looked cracked like it was gonna fall apart any second. Then he had quite an upsetting expression on his face. Looked like he wanted to die, but he can't. Man, did I feel a knot in my gut when I saw Silver like that. I rubbed any tears out of my eyes after that and tried to continue with the game, so I went and picked Blaze next. The Kefka laugh came again. Started to annoy me at this point. Honestly, I am annoyed at the Kefka laugh too. They keep specifying it's the Kefka laugh, which Alright, man, we did it! Oh my days, yes, Sonic.exe, the sequel. Hello, Quinn Zorian. Hello! As the screen faded black, the level title this time was called Empty! When the title started up, I saw it looked like the Casino Night Zone, except it looked hellish, like an evil Casino Night Zone, and the music that was playing was odd. Looked like a really low beeping sound that goes off every 10 seconds. Blaze was doing an animation as if she had no idea what was going on. She too broke the fourth wall by looking like she wasn't sure if she wanted to continue. I was starting to feel the same feeling she was, and I didn't like it, but I had to continue. As I had Blaze trek through the creepy casino area, I noticed that it also had a macabre theme park style to it, kind of like the Joker's Funland in Arkham City. Good game, by the way. Except anything was meant to have a clown face to it, instead had a seriously messed up version of Sonic, with again black eyes and red dots and a huge fanged grin on his face. I was seriously creeped out now, but at least the level acted more like an actual level, albeit with the lack of enemies. Oh, thank God, there's actual gameplay. Blaze still looked creeped and I couldn't blame her. After going down in platforms, elevators, traps, other stuff, Blaze started running on a flat road. The music had stopped playing. It was then I started feeling a really ugly pain of suspense growing in my gut. Blaze clearly looked nervous, too. And suddenly Blaze tripped and that godforsaken laugh came again, and Sonic appeared in a puff of black pixelated smoke, grinning and crying blood again, looking at Blaze, who looked just plain mortified. The black screen popped up again with another message. I don't know if you're either clumsy or just being stupid. Maybe both. Then that laugh again. I was like, WTF? Did the game just insult me? Oh, the humanity. How terrible. The game called you stupid. Yeah, just ignore the fact that Sonic brutally murdered Silver a while ago. The game calling Crystal stupid is the scariest part. The black screen changed back to the game again. Blaze is in what appears to be her mirror room, and Sonic is nowhere to be found, and some really freaky music, like an 8-bit piano banging frantically, was playing. What was this, a boss fight? No, it didn't feel like it. In fact, I didn't think this game had any boss battles at all. Anyway, Sonic appeared in one of the mirrors, smiling, so I had Blaze destroy the mirror, but all I got of that was that wretched Kefka laughing. Sonic then appeared in another mirror, smiling like a goddamn Joker. Had Blaze destroy that too. End up hearing the laugh again. Sonic was practically driving me nuts by pissing me off. Yes, I said Sonic was driving me nuts. I already started thinking that Sonic was doing all this. Now you think Sonic was the one doing all of this? After he literally murdered Silver a while ago. Okay, man. I kept destroying mirrors that had Sonic in them, but I ended up just destroying mirrors and hearing that freaking annoying laugh for God knows how long. I was both irritated and terrified at the same time, to say the least. Yeah, I would be pissed off too if I constantly kept hearing that goddamn laugh. Suddenly, Blaze fell to the floor tired. This had to be a cutscene, because no matter which button I pressed, nothing happened. Dumbass. Anyway, Sonic reappeared the same way he did earlier, and Blaze looked at him, looking exhausted and rather scared. I too was looking at Sonic with fear and spite. Don't get me wrong, I still like Sonic, but this isn't the Sonic I know. This guy. Anyway, the screen went to red static again, and then came another message. I never get tired of doing what I do best. The screen went black, and this time Sonic's gone again. Blaze was alone. Suddenly, the glass shards Blaze made started floating in midair and then fly around her in a circle. Static again, and then... In fact, you want to know something hilarious? Blaze looked at the shards in fear, and then the shards form a huge mouth-like grin opening wide, with Blaze breaking the fourth wall in the circle, looking dumbfounded. Huh? It actually keeps me up at night doing what I do best. The glass shards flew into Blaze, and as they did, the screen went black with a loud screeching noise. This one was much louder. I had to plug my ears in pain from it. Damn, okay. The screeching stopped just when it started, and I was booted back to the main menu again. Blaze was just like Silver. She was no longer in her save file. Instead, she was in the TV screen in the file, and she too was in such a tormented state. Her fur had darkened and was messy. Her eyes were also black and bleeding, but those ugly feature that she had been grotesquely disfigured from the shards of glass earlier. She had cuts and wounds that were so bad you could see the meat, blood, and bone inside her, and she had such a dead-like expression, I almost had a urge to vomit at the sight of the Blaze. It was more than I could bear. Okay, honestly, that is valid. Tried to forget about Blaze and had selected Sally. I was thankful I was selecting her next. She was my favorite Sonic character, and I was hoping that Sonic wasn't going to do anything to her. When I selected Sally, the screen changed to red static instead of it going black. It actually made me jump, and then came another message. I'm gonna go easy on this one, you lucky dog. And then that horrid laugh. What did Sonic mean by going easy? I figured he liked Sally, but something was definitely not right. The level title was called Madness for some reason. I thought that was fitting. When the level started, I saw that Sally was in what could be a hallway, but instead it was one that looked torn, twisted, and suspended in some kind of chaotic space. It was as if she had just walked right into hell itself, or at least it looked like it. Anyways, there was no music playing, which added more to the creepiness. I honestly didn't know what to do here, but I had Sally running. I didn't want to continue playing, but something was practically forcing me to do so. No, something was not practically forcing you to keep playing the game. Just turn it off. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. The biggest problem with creepypastas like these is that the main character could easily just turn off the game and be done with it, but then the creepypasta would just end. So I could see why they didn't. Madness! Yeah, I could see why they wouldn't. Why they can't just turn the game off, because then there would be no creepypasta, but at the same time, it makes it harder to take seriously. Because if you're in a haunted house, for example, if you're in a haunted house, you can't just leave it because you paid money to go there, so it would just feel like a kind of a waste of money. But with video games and episodes, you can easily just, stop watching them or turn off the game. That's kind of a reason why sometimes I can't take these kind of things that seriously, because it's so easy to just get out of that situation. But at the same time, we wouldn't have a creepypasta if the author was smart and actually stopped watching the episode or just turned off the game. So, yeah. That was just my thoughts on these kind of things. I had Sally jump on platforms and stuff. This level was just messed up. And Sally just had the perplexed expression. I was just creeped out and worried that what may happen to Sally, but I still kept her going. I was more worried by the increasing lack of enemies in this game. Like it's trying to tell me the only bad guy in it was Sonic, because so far he's done something rather messed up to the playable characters. It psychologically messed with my head. Why? I don't know. Maybe he's some kind of demon haunted game or something. I don't know. No, I don't care, because he's driving me nuts, and now I'm getting sick, and now I'm sick of it. Oh god, does Crystal have like a southern accent or something? She went full-blown Applejack here. Anyway, had Sally continue hopping across platforms in the chaotic space, but then I accidentally had her jump into a large empty area that had her falling into the abyss. I just dropped my jaw in shock and disbelief. When she landed onto the bottom of the screen went to red static yet again. You know, someone could write a creepypasta where the video game is hypnotizing them, so they play forever. Ooh, that does sound like a good idea. The game hypnotizes the player, so play forever and ever. That does sound like a good idea. It kind of reminded me of that Minecraft ARG, searching for a world that doesn't exist, where Avery was stuck planting flowers and almost drowning himself for 12 hours. It kind of reminded me of that. I would love a creepypasta with that premise, though. I would really love a creepypasta with that premise. Then came yet another message. You look a bit run down. Why not take a little break while you still can? I was like, WTF? Did the game just tell me to take a break from it? Oh god, if Crystal is gonna get this shocked over the game telling her to take a break, do not let this girl play a fucking, do not let Crystal play the Wii Fit games, because those games always tell you to take a break. She will be scared out of her goddamn mind. Yeah, exactly, that is sick as fuck. Anyway, I did what it told me and turned off the computer and went off to go have lunch. After I had lunch, I went back to my computer and saw that a chat popped up. What freaked me out more was the chat invite came from Sally. Oh my god, she's talking to Sally. Here's how the chat went. Hi. Hi? I'm sorry for what Sonic's doing. What? He's a really nice guy. If he's nice, he's got a really funny way of showing it. He needs your help. My help? He wants out. Out? What do you mean? Play the game a bit more and I'll explain. After that, Sally left the chat. I was just confused at the whole thing. What did she mean about Sonic wanting out? Anyway, I went back to the game. It just moved me to the next level, which read, Out! Sally was now in black nothingness, with what appeared to be white pixels here and there, forming the levels somewhat. The only music that was playing was a faint pixelated sound that really wasn't noticeable. Water break. Yep. This level was creepy in a sense that I didn't even know, but I pressed on. I didn't know if I skipped something or not. I had Sally continue through the dark, bizarre level. After at least 3 to 4 minutes of traversing the weird level, Sonic appeared out of nowhere and came the message, "Figured it out yet?" Then came that monstrous laugh. Well, at least you didn't describe it as the Kefka laugh for the 9 billionth time. I was brought back to the main menu and saw Sally's face on the file. Sally wasn't as bad as Silver Ablaze, but she was still unpleasant to look at. Her eyes had been soon shut and were bleeding, and her fur had darkened a bit, and she had a wide, deranged smile that looked like she had several rows of fangs like a shark. Okay, I'm gonna admit this right now. Sally.exe used to scare the fuck out of me when I was a child. Like, when I was young, hold on. This picture of Sally got me. This picture of Sally scared the shit out of me when I was little. Because, I really don't know what it was. It was something about, like, the gameplay of Sally.exe, where, like, it was just this Golden Freddy, noise with this picture. Something about it freaked me the hell out when I was, like, really young. But now that I'm older, I just think this design looks kind of sick, not gonna lie. Yeah, this design looks kind of sick, not gonna lie, with Sally with her eyes soon shut. I just think the idea of sewing someone's eyes shut is cool in general. I think it makes for a cool character design. But, anyways, I was very creeped out at her image, but I'm curious too. She seemed very cheerful at her predicament while the others looked miserable. It was weird. My name is Golden Freddy. You're not Golden Freddy. Anyway, another chat popped up. Here's the conversation. How do I look? What? I said, how do I look? You look like you're in a lot of pain. It's not the worst he's done. You should see Tails. What's his beef? Why is Sonic doing this? He's bored. He's been stuck in this game for so long. Oh my god. So his motive really is me when I have to kill my friends because I'm bored. That is perfect. Oh my god. His motive was literally me when I have to kill my friends because I'm bored. It shouldn't be out of boredom that you should hurt someone. He said he'll stop hurting people if you let him out. Like, I'm really supposed to believe that? Would you rather he keep hurting you? He hasn't done anything to me. Not yet. What? Better decide soon. He hates waiting. After that, she closed the chat. I had no idea what she meant, and frankly, I didn't care, because I brushed off her threats and took a break from the game. Again. Bad mistake, obviously, because I went and had a bad dream later. Oh god, here comes the best part. In the dream, I was strapped to the chair and I felt a painful numbness in my head. I could see Sonic with his black end and bleeding eyes and wide mad grin doing something to my head. He laughed. His laugh sounded just like it did in the game, only more realistic. It's this sort. How do you make a realistic Kefka laugh? Woo hoo 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 hoo. That was my best impression at a realistic Kefka laugh. You ought to decide on helping me soon, Crystal. The sound of a drill going off could be heard, because I tend to get in people's heads when I get impatient. Sonic came in front of me and pulled a large mirror in front of me. What I saw made me gag. Sonic had lobotomized me. He had cut the top of my skull off and then drove it into my brain. Oh my god, that is perfect. Sonic had lobotomized me. Sonic had lobotomized me. Oh my god. He then dug his hand into my head and started pulling my brain out, looking at me with that horrid grin. Don't keep me waiting! It was when he tore my brain out when I woke up in a cold, frightened sweat. Was that real? Was Sonic really threatening me to do what he said? I obviously did, because I ran to my computer just in time to see Sally opening up a chat again. Son crying emoji indeed. Sonic had lobotomized me. There's something so funny about that phrase to me. Just the idea of Sonic the Hedgehog lobotomizing someone is so fucking funny. Hi. Okay, what the hell is going on? Your boyfriend just scared the crap out of me. Yeah, he does that sometimes. I told you he hates waiting. Don't give me that crap. Your boyfriend is evil. He's not evil. He's just bored. He wants out. Damn, this version of Sally really is the embodiment of I can fix him. You keep telling me that he wants out of the game, but how am I supposed to get a video game character out of a little game disc? It can be done. If you get into the game, you can get out. Are you suggesting that I should be a hacker? I don't know. Seems like an easier way to do it. Oh god, please don't tell me Crystal's gonna pull a War of the Worlds 2025 and be like fucking Ice Cube, just being a hacker and crashing out when he heard his son was a hacker. I forgot what he said. Forget it. I'm no hacker. I don't even know how this game was made. Would you rather end up like your friends Tom and Kyle? Wait, what? What did you just say? Just find a way to get him out and he'll leave you alone. Simple as that. No, wait, how do you know Tom and Kyle? What did Sonic do to them? Oh, it's simple. He just, He killed them. He killed them. It's like that Five Nights at Freddy's William Afton, he ate them picture, but it's with killed instead of ate. Oh, that would be even worse if it said that he ate them. Too late, Sally had closed the chat after that. What the hell did she mean? How did she know about Tom and Kyle? Was this game the reason for Kyle's disappearance and the reason behind Tom's death? Did Sonic really suck them into the game with him? And for what? Because he's bored and wants to be left out? Yeah, pretty much. It sucks, but that's the truth, Crystal. Excuse me. I didn't know what to do, but I couldn't take it anymore. I had to do what he said. And I did it for 3 reasons. 1, because I wanted to know what he did to my friends. 2, I wanted him to stop this. And 3, I wanted to figure out how to hack him out of a game soon. Luckily, my dad has a friend who specializes in computers, so he gave me the stuff I needed to hack the crazy game. So I plugged the CD into a device and plugged the device into my hard drive, which connected the information of the game into the net for me. At least that's how it was supposed to go. Anyways, after a while, I did a few stuff on my computer and the game. I'm not gonna get into detail on how I hacked the game. Okay, I guess. Eventually, after like an hour or so, I managed to hack the game's information into the net. I managed to get Sonic out of the game into the internet. That's what he meant. The only way he could be free is if I released him to the net. Oh my god, Crystal, you fucking idiot. Crystal, you fucking idiot. Why the fuck did I do that? Yeah, why the fuck did you do that? You've doomed us all, Crystal. The next day after I hacked the game, I started getting a weird feeling in my house, like some evil presence was festering everywhere. The nightmares worsened. Sonic was laughing. I went to the chat and called Sally. How did you call Sally if it was a chat? Huh? Sally? Oh, hi. Sally, what the hell's going on? What do you mean? You said that if I let Sonic out, he'll leave me alone. I did. But now I feel like he's everywhere in my house. I haven't left my room for hours. I said he'll leave you alone. I didn't say he'll leave you alone alive. My jaw just dropped at what she just said. Are you shocked? Yes, I'm shocked! Good. Why did you lie to me, you... Whoa! Whoa! Don't call them bitches, bro! Don't call them bitches, bro! Whoa, dude! Dude! Crystal, I get you're mad, but don't call Sally a bitch! Don't call Sally a bitch, man! Sonic asked me to. You said he was bored! I did, and he was. He was bored of dragging people into here all the time without actually doing anything. Yeah, Damn, okay, so his motive was basically, me when I have to kill my friends because I'm bored, but a bit more complex. Here? You mean the game? Yes, you let him into the internet, and now he's everywhere and can do anything he wants. What? Ha ha ha! You didn't think the game is his prison, did you? No, it's his home, and now it's everywhere. Meaning he can be everywhere, too. It's your prison. It's the prison of all those who've met my master. Even Tom and Kyle? From the hit Creepypasta Sonic.exe? Yep, and soon you're gonna join them because Sonic is free, and soon the world will become his. You! I was a prisoner too, but Sonic's kind to me. He'll introduce me to all kinds of pleasures for helping him plan his freedom. Are you scared? If you are, good. Sonic prefers his toys to be scared. See you in hell! See you in hell from... Dude, the concept of Sally saying see you in hell is crazy. The computer turned itself off after that. I couldn't believe it. Sonic is a demon that can control the reality in the game, and can now control the reality in this world. Dude, calling Sonic a demon reminds me of those, overreacting Christian Facebook moms who call any media evil or satanic for whatever reason. I had been tricked by my own favorite character to let the embodiment of evil itself loose unto the world. He will invade your computer now and drag you into his nightmare realm, which is now spewing out of control into our world now. Sonic is the devil himself, and Sally's just another pawn in this horrid game. Oh god, we gotta be careful now! Sonic is now everywhere. He could be anywhere in my house. Even as I'm typing right now, I fear Sonic will come to get me at any moment now. He's free and he's ready to take our world. I can feel him breathing down my neck. I know he's right behind me. Anyone who's reading this, run! Just fucking run! Oh, F-Mom! Sonic's coming to get you! He's coming to get all of us! Just run! Run! Sonic's coming! Sonic is a devil! The fucking fucking middle people! He's coming to get you! You won't stop! Run! Run, 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 run! No, I turned into a dog, dude! I turned into a dog! Oh my god! She really did sound like a Christian mother crashing out over Sonic and calling him the embodiment of doll. Hello, everyone. Would you like to play with me? If you want to play with me, look for my plush doll. You'll know what to do afterwards. Raiden! I think you're right behind me, Raiden. Raiden, please stop. Oh my god, that was the goofiest ending ever. Oh my god. That was the goofiest ending to a creepypasta I've ever seen. Oh my god. That was so goddamn goofy. That was so goddamn goofy. OMG, a new teaser for Max and Ruby 004 thing. I'll watch this after the stream. But yeah, guys, in case you were wondering why I'm pulling up the tube, I'm gonna, no, stop that. I'm gonna do something very special to end off this, thing. I'm gonna do something very special to end off. We just gotta wait for all hell to break loose later. I'm gonna, no, stop that. I'm gonna do something very special to end off this, thing. I'm gonna do something very special to end off. It's all gonna spiral out of control soon. We just gotta wait for all hell to break loose later. Cause I just did this and, I wanted to do this cause I thought it would be funny. It's all gonna spiral out of control soon. Cause I just did this and, I wanted to do this cause I thought it would be funny. That's nice, Oliver. It's kind of delayed, but that's fine. That's fine. Yep, it's looping. It's looping, alright. It's a never-ending loop. Yep. That's nice, Oliver. Armageddon is going to start soon. It's kind of delayed, but that's fine. That's fine. Prepare for Armageddon. Yep, it's looping. It's looping, alright. It's a never-ending loop. That's nice, Oliver. Oh, great. Armageddon is going to start soon. It's kind of delayed, but that's fine. That's fine. Prepare for Armageddon. It's looping. It's looping, alright. It's a never-ending loop. My water bottle is empty now. Oh, great. Armageddon is going to start soon. Prepare for Armageddon. Okay, my light is on. Oh, that's awful! I'm so sorry for your loss, Oliver. I hope you get a new water bottle soon. Okay, my light is on. Oh, that's awful! I'm so sorry for your loss, Oliver. I hope you get a new water bottle soon. Oh, look at that! Armageddon! Ah, fuck, no. My loop! The Oliver link. Oh, look at that! Armageddon! The Oliver things are multiplying. Ah, fuck, no. My loop! The Oliver link. The Oliver things are multiplying. Oh god! Your loop! Yeah, this isn't as chaotic. But, that's fine. Cause, hello! Cause, if I was nice to myself, I would have been yelling at myself to shut up, but I'm not like that. I'm not mean. Yeah, this isn't as chaotic, but, that's fine. Cause, hello! Cause, if I was nice to myself, I would have been yelling at myself to shut up, but Thank you, Oliver. I'm so glad you're not mean to us. I'm so glad you're not being mean. Oh, thank you, Oliver. I'm so glad you're not mean to us. I'm so glad you're not being mean. Yes, I am an angel. A perfect little angel. You guys want to see me spray this Hawaiian Escape air freshener into my mouth? What the fuck, Oliver? Don't do that. That's weird. That is weird. Put a hard candy coffee in your mouth instead. That's way better and way healthier. Yes, I'm an angel. A perfect little angel. You guys want to see me spray this Hawaiian Escape air freshener into my mouth? What the fuck, Oliver? Don't do that. That's weird. That is weird. Put a hard candy coffee in your mouth instead. That's way better and way healthier. Yes, I'm an angel. A perfect little angel. You guys want to see me spray this Hawaiian Escape air freshener into my mouth? What the fuck, Oliver? Don't do that. That's weird. That is weird. Put a hard candy coffee in your mouth instead. Boring. Okay, so I'm gonna end this stream off here. Say bye, Oliverlings. Say bye, my little Oliverlings. Boring. Okay, so I'm gonna end this stream off here. Say bye, Oliverlings. Say bye, my little Oliverlings.